Have you ever stopped and asked yourself this simple but unsettling question? Am I living my life for myself? Or am I living it for the approval of others? Think about it. How many times have you dressed a certain way, spoken a certain way, or even stayed silent? Not because that was true to you, but because you feared what someone else might think? If this feels uncomfortably familiar, you're not alone. Most of us are quietly trapped in what I call the prison of approval. A prison without walls, without guards, but one that still keeps us chained. And today, we're going to uncover exactly what that means, and more importantly, how Stoic wisdom shows us the way out. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. Do you want more freedom in your relationships, your career, and even in love? Because what I'm about to share could truly change your life, and especially your love life. If you're constantly seeking approval, whether from a partner, your family, or society, you'll always feel insecure. But if you learn to escape this trap, you'll finally stand in your own power. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because I promise you it's going to shift the way you see yourself forever. And if Stoic wisdom resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This one simple act of approval, you giving this video a like, is the only kind of approval I'll ask for. After that, we'll let Stoicism do the talking. Part 1, the silent prison we all live in. Let me tell you a quick story. There was once a young man who desperately wanted to be loved. He wasn't weak, nor was he foolish, but he craved the smile, the nod, the validation of everyone around him. If someone disapproved of him, his stomach would tighten, his chest would ache, and he would replay their words for nights on end. This man is not from ancient Rome, not from a distant time. He could be your colleague, your friend, maybe even you. The prison of approval doesn't show itself with iron bars. Instead, it whispers, if they don't like me, I'm not enough. It makes you trade your authenticity for applause, your truth for someone else's comfort. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Imagine the courage that takes to let people laugh, misunderstand, or even reject you, yet still stand firmly in who you are. The Stoics believe that approval is like smoke. You can chase it, but the harder you run, the more it slips away. Part 2, why we crave approval. But why do we fall into this trap in the first place? Let's go deeper. From childhood, we are rewarded for good behavior with smiles, praise, and gold stars. If we misbehave, we're punished with frowns, scolding, or cold silence. Slowly, our brains wire themselves to seek external approval as if it were oxygen. Fast forward to adulthood and the cycle doesn't break. We're still checking if people approve of our choices. Does my partner think I'm attractive enough? Do my colleagues respect me? Do my friends secretly judge me? But here's the problem. The more we crave approval, the more fragile we become. One insult, one rejection, one cold glance, and we're shattered. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Isn't that exactly what happens? We love ourselves, yet we hand over the keys of our worth to strangers. It's as if we're kings who willingly give up our crown to beg for scraps. Part 3, how approval destroys relationships. Now here's where it gets personal. Approval seeking doesn't just affect you, it bleeds into your relationships. Think about love. If you're constantly trying to please your partner, to avoid conflict, to say what they want to hear, you're not building love. You're building dependence. They may love the version of you that bends and pleases, but that's not truly you. Sooner or later, resentment grows. You'll feel unseen, misunderstood, maybe even unloved. But the truth is, you were never truly seen in the first place because you were hiding behind the mask of approval. On the other side, your partner senses your insecurity. And here's the brutal truth. Insecurity never breeds attraction. Authenticity does. That's why escaping the prison of approval isn't just about self-growth. It's about saving your relationships, maybe even saving your love life. Part 4, the Stoic escape plan. So how do the Stoics escape this prison? Let's walk through their timeless wisdom. Redefine control. Epictetus taught that some things are in our control and some are not. Approval belongs firmly in the not in our control category. You can act with integrity, but how others perceive you, that's their story, not yours. Next time you feel the sting of rejection, pause and ask, is this within my control? If not, let it go. 2, practice negative visualization. The Stoics had this fascinating practice. They would imagine losing what they valued most: wealth, reputation, even love. Not to be pessimistic, but to strengthen themselves. Try it. Imagine that people disapprove of you, mock you, misunderstand you. Now ask yourself, does their disapproval actually change your worth? Of course not. You're still you. By rehearsing these scenarios, the Stoics trained themselves to detach from the need for approval. 3. Seek inner applause. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, the approval of the crowd is worthless. The only approval worth chasing is your own. Instead of asking, will they like me? Ask, will I respect myself if I do this? This shift changes everything. Suddenly, your life becomes an inward journey of self-respect, not an outward chase for applause. 4. Embrace discomfort. Let people think you're strange. Let them frown when you say no. Let them whisper when you choose differently. Seneca said, you act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. In other words, we fear little things like disapproval, when we should only fear wasting our life. Discomfort is the doorway to freedom. Let me share another story, this time a modern one. A woman I know, let's call her Sarah, was always the good girl. She smiled, agreed, and never argued. She kept her boss happy, her friends happy, and her boyfriend happy. But inside she was exhausted. She didn't know who she really was anymore. One day she stumbled across Stoic philosophy. She read Marcus Aurelius's words, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Something shifted. She realized she had been doing things that weren't right for her, saying things that weren't true for her, just to win approval. She began small, saying no to invitations she didn't want, voicing her real opinions even when people frowned. At first, people resisted. They were used to the old Sarah. But slowly, something remarkable happened. They began respecting her more. And the ones who didn't respect her, they faded away. That's the paradox of approval. The less you chase it, the more authentic respect you actually receive. Part 6, the love life transformation. Now let's bring it back to love. Imagine being in a relationship where you're no longer desperate for approval. You don't panic if your partner disagrees with you. You don't bend every time they want something different. Instead, you stand in your truth, with kindness but also with strength. That's magnetic. That's attractive, because deep down people crave authenticity. They want a partner who is real, not a mirror that simply reflects their desires. By escaping the prison of approval, you not only find freedom, you invite deeper, truer love into your life. Part 7, your daily Stoic practice. So how do you start? Here's a simple practice inspired by the Stoics. 1. Morning reflection. Each morning, remind yourself, today I may be disapproved of, but my worth is not in their hands. Towards midday, check in. When making a choice, pause and ask, am I doing this for my truth or for their approval? Evening review. At night, journal. Where did I seek approval today? Where did I stand true? Day by day, you'll feel the chains loosen. The prison of approval is one of the most common prisons in the world, but the door is unlocked. You only need the courage to walk out. The Stoics show us that true freedom doesn't come from applause, likes, or approval. It comes from living in alignment with your values, your truth, your reason. So the next time you feel the urge to please, to bend, to beg for approval, pause. Remember Marcus Aurelius. Remember Epictetus. And most of all, remember that your worth was never up for debate. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.